Never thought Cheerios would smell so good.
Welcome back to episode 3.
Hi.
If we want to make something look like weirdly Eastern, let's stick Buddhas all over it.
Yeah, just, disembodied Buddha heads.
Well, not all of them are disembodied. Look, some of them have bodies.
Oh, yeah. No one would do this with, Jesus or
He was asleep and clinging
any
to that thing.
non-Eastern god.
Apparently. Or unconscious of some kind. Awakened by random children's cries.
I feel like I'm playing Left 4 Dead.
Why?
Hearing the witch cry.
Oh.
You just start to get woken up. Oh, shit! We have to deal with that now? Oh.
Here we have the smartass of the game. The day I see a little golden spider pointing at me
Talking, for that matter.
is,
I don't know. What would happen if he fell? Isn't he immortal?
There's Aaron Naraka, which, as you might be able to guess by the way it appears, isn't exactly a physical plane.
Yeah. Dragon Ball Z, anyone?
This is the road to the next dimension. Here we meet notice something different about Asura. As apes. Asura has actual arms in his early days. This is our tutorial where we learn all the nice base systems of the game. I like to do this even though I know how to play it, just so everyone knows how this works. You mash B. Every attack is performed with Y. And now that we're in actual gameplay, you'll notice the heavy attack will cause me to overheat, which means I can't use heavy attacks or other things that involve Y, like down attacks on downed enemies.
Is it anything like Vindictus, where heavy attacks will change if you combo into them, or is it the same thing?
It's always the same thing,
Okay.
but you can use it on downed enemies for special attacks.
Oh. I really like that about Vindictus, where your heavy attack was a different strike depending on how many light attacks you comboed into it.
Yeah, well, this system isn't nearly that complicated.
Oh.
We're going for something much simpler. I never said... He says that throughout this entire fucking tutorial. Dash attacks are performed by holding the B button. That's being hit. That's not what I meant to do.
Being hit is performed by running into your enemies, pressing absolutely nothing.
Which is actually a game mechanic. I shit you not.
Yeah, it sounds like it would hurt.
That's the problem with this, free flow, tutorial. I just get caught up in the fact that I can just wail on these guys infinitely. A dive attack is basically a dash attack in the air. Enemies who are knocked down can have special attacks with the Y button. This will overheat you just like you're using a heavy attack, though. Oftentimes it is more than just an attack on the downed enemy. It's a area of effect in some ways.
Cool.
There's a few episodes like this one where not much actually happens, so they use it as an excuse to flashback. So they have to teach you about recovering. Unlike other games, rather than just resetting your animation and allowing you to get back in the fight, recovering actually does give you health back.
Huh.
And now we have dodging, which is kind of I'm bad at. I'm bad at dodging in all action games.
I was about to say that this is a recurring theme with you, man. You can't do it. I say that because he was playing Mass Effect 3, playing a Turian. They cannot dodge roll, apparently. I've not played it yet.
I feel that a lot. Dodge rolling is more useful as a Solarian because they have that like super fast sidestep. Oh yes, counterattacking. You can still counterattack if the command happens to be Y. If you're overheated, but you recharge pretty fast. So we have our lock-on mechanic. You use the other stick, the right stick, to switch between. As we have giant glowing lava manta rays. Yes, you did. You lied. And we have our rapid fire mechanic, I believe is what's introduced, yes. Hold X for rapid fire. X is basically the shoot stuff from your fists button. You can hold it down. Just pressing it results in a weird, like, shotgun blast that you can actually be rapid fired.
You'd never guess this was a Capcom game. I mean, they didn't make Devil May Cry.
Well, Capcom didn't exactly make this either. They kind of published it.
Yeah, but, you know, you can feel their influence.
Speak up. You can shoot down those projectiles that aren't flame projectiles or lasers. Good to know. You can also do this infinitely.
I want to be able to shoot down lasers, though.
Like Superman.
How come I can't hit... Well, hold on a second.
Basically what Asura is doing is punching at long range here, so why can't I punch lasers? Like Superman.
Yes, referencing that cartoon. Stop insulting 50s Superman, Matt.
He's just such an easy target, I can't help myself. Shooting Augustus, I don't think actually does anything.
This is another theme for Matt. He tends to pick easy targets. I don't know why I like most of them. Maybe I have something to do with it.
Look at how fucking broad August is. Jesus. Here's your test. Here we are. Inflicting and receiving damage increases the unlimited gauge. Once its full unlimited mode can be activated by pressing the left trigger. Activated automatically on easy mode. The unlimited gauge, basically, the whole purpose of it is it makes you not overheat and increases your attack power. And this is the main point of shooting. It doesn't do much damage, but it rapidly fills your unlimited gauge.
Why do you need a gauge for something that's unlimited? I don't understand.
Now we're going to curb stomp the demigod.
I used to play bass for Curb Stomp the Demigod.
That's a great name for a band. And now we activate unlimited mode! Strength is increased and he cannot overheat. Of most boss fights, you basically want to get unlimited mode very quickly.
Yes, that's right. Every time a hero decides to go into his ultimate mode, he develops the superpower plate tectonics.
And glowing skin. Inflicting damage upon enemies increases the burst gauge. Once it's full, burst can be activated by pressing the right trigger and unleashing a devastating attack. They're actually lying to you here. That's not what burst is.
Oh.
You think it would just be a super powerful move. That's not actually how it's used in gameplay.
attack enemies to fill up the burst gauge.
I don't know if a game has blatantly lied to you about how to play since Castlevania 2.
How was that?
The townspeople would sometimes give you misleading clues to your objectives.
Or was it just poor? Basically, pressing the Y at exactly the moment of impact increases your synchronic rate with Asura.
Synchronic rate.
Synchronominic.
Achieve a high enough synchronic rate, and you get question mark. Ellipse question mark. That's something that Japanese games like to do as well. Like, just not tell you about game mechanics, but draw attention to them anyway.
Whoever was doing this, like, decides to be very playful with dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're trying to teach an elementary school class full of, it's like a special ed class. And what do you get, children, when you put the square peg in the round hole? That's right, you get a broken peg. Whee!
Here's your reward.
See, there you go. There's your broken peg.
August's hair is really weird. Or it's almost Heihachi weird.
His sword appears to be taller than himself. But I guess that's par for the course in this kind of a medium.
Rain damage is hilarious. It really does look like someone he is an oil painting with his brushstrokes on his skin.
Divine brain damage is super hilarious. Or rather, it's divinely hilarious.
Yeah.
Boo! Those puns are terrible.
Asura looked kind of cautious, like,
Whoa, buddy.
I don't really like spiders. Can you go away?
Watch all those legs.
more flashbacks to stuff we've already played.
And of course, you can't have a game like this without...
So now this is basically the same fight as before, but with a few extra units and actual gameplay mechanics now.
You will notice that my sentences, the middle of my sentences, will often interrupt the beginning of Matt's. This will be a kind of recurring theme throughout all of our Let's Plays.
If we hopefully have any more.
Oh no, of course we're having more. We have to do... This is Matt's game. We're going to do one game that Jake likes and one game that I like, and we're all going to make... Or one game we each want to make fun of.
Yeah.
Who actually plays them is the material, basically.
This is true. But this game wouldn't be complete without a slave race to completely abuse.
Well, basically demigods, but not as awesome demigods. Like, when your divine abilities aren't as good as other people, it's hard to argue that your station in life isn't lower.
This is true, but it's like... I don't know how that's any different from those people aren't as smart and or as capable. We should make slaves of them.
Well, when you can shoot laser beams out of your fists, I think it goes all out the window.
Yes, I understand. It's not a complete analogy, and by no means is it accurate. However, I feel I have a point. Slave races kind of go along with this whole theme. I know I've used the word theme about 5 times. It's important because that's what this game is based off of.
You notice my burst gauge filled up there. It's pretty much ending the combat. The burst gauge is more of a enemy health bar than an actual gauge for your devastating attack. I'm sorry, you were saying?
It signals the end of a scene?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Or stages of a boss, as we'll see later.
Beautiful Joe did it better. You know, everyone showed up...
I've been dropped into a Photoshop.
Everyone showed up awfully fast after he caught the dead Emperor in his arms and his blood was smeared all over Asura's hands. I'd like to know exactly what alarm was sounded or who got back to everyone and said, Asura killed so-and-so. Because the Emperor's name isn't important.
Strada.
He's called a plot device, people.
Strada is delicious.
Strata. What do you make Strata with, though?
Yogurt. Everything goes well with yogurt. To those of you who don't know, I made a Spaceballs reference there, okay? Jeez, no one's a Mel Brooks fan anymore. Get some
I'm a Mel Brooks fan. I just prefer History of the World Part 1.
I don't know.
Curling up and dying right here does sound awfully appealing. I'm sorry, Asura, have I offended you? Oh, don't know how the spider talks with those talons.
Now you're not making any sense. I'm the one who's supposed to dispense nonsensical advice that you only get in hindsight. I'm the Obi-Wan Kaboozy figure.
Quick time event to get Asura's motivation. Asura apparently doesn't like crying.
I think people who do like crying have something a little bit wrong with them.
I believe I saw some people like that on the latest SVU episode.
Oh, shit's going down. Or maybe this is just an everyday occurrence on Gaia. Asura doesn't have all of his arms, and he apparently has Jin Mishima's pants. I failed that input. Oh well. It doesn't actually affect anything.
If you get it right, the explosion is even more awesome. That's all. It goes from awesome to really awesome. That's the only challenge in the game.
There is like some serious sleeping in Asura. The golden spider is like passive aggressive as fuck here. That's nothing to a demigod like yourself.
I don't think he's passive aggressive. He's just being honest and he's kind of mocking him. That's all.
Title drop. Hell on Gaia.
And look at how much action there was in that scene, folks. Like, really. You had 5 minutes of gameplay and 25 minutes of dialogue? I don't even know what to call that. It's like introspection and there's two people involved.
And one of them may or may not be an actual person.
The golden spider is just... It's the snooty part of Asura. It's been underutilized and now it's coming back as passive-aggressive. He would like to say, fuck you, man, but he can't because he's just too subdued.
I wouldn't call a man like that subdued. I'm wondering where he got the scrap of clothing. Let's see. Is there anything in the corners here?
There's a spider.
I want to know why...
Yeah, artist signature.
Cool.
I want to know why, like, Hell on Gaia has to be the theme here. Or it has to be, like...
The title?
No, well, not so much that. It's like, he says, this is hell. What if he landed in the only bad part? You know, if you landed in a volcano...
It's gonna
if
be
aliens landed in a volcano and said, this is what the rest of the place is like, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
That would be terrible first contact.
Yes, it would be. But we'd like to think that they might be smart enough.
I think space travel aliens might be wise enough to consider that. And
this guy's probably not. Yeah, I know.
Oh, and they may want to make contact with the strange lava beings. But we are to assume that Gaia was a lush and prosperous land fucking everywhere. That wasn't a square inch of it that wasn't beautiful. A barren land somewhere on Gaia.
It was Alderaan before, and now it's Char. Look at what we did, people.
Or Korriban, for those of you who don't play StarCraft.
Because everyone knows Star Wars. No, everyone knows Star Wars. And if you don't, you do. Now get it. Get the fucking Star Wars.
A barren land somewhere on Gaia. What do you think? It's become a tad desolate since you were here last. I can hear thunder in the distance. Can you see the lightning? It's as red as blood. So you remember, yes, the threat of the Goma still remains, even now. Curious as to what your former comrades have been doing. Over there, have a look.
That's not an electric razor. It's also not a, yeah. They lit the Goma.
Not quite. This was the work of your own race, the demigods.
What?
Exclamation mark, question mark.
Just come on.
They now had control over the world and do as they please.
That can't be.
It's Asura, not Solid Snake.
It's close enough.
I'm searching, okay? A lot can change in 12,000 years. If you don't believe me, why don't you go and see for yourself?
Shut up!
There's that famous Asura anger. Well then, this world shall be your playground.
After a long slumber, Asura awakens
Like,
on Gaia.
a serious
10,000
slumber.
years have passed. The world he knew was no more, yet nothing had changed. The struggle between the humans and the Goma continued to rage. As Asura witnesses the Goma attack a village, a familiar face appears.
I wonder who it could be.
Trailers always spoil. Well, that's episode 3.
Yep.
We're gonna lose count eventually. See
Yeah.
you next time.
Bye.
Bye.